Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Purplatypus is the name. And today we are making a tier list for Octopath Traveler 2. Warning, first, there will be spoilers. We're going to be talking about all the jobs that are in the game. Also, one other thing to note, if you skip to the end of this video, we are not making a tier list based off the characters. The characters have the sprites, yes, but this is going to be based off the job alone, not when combined with specific characters, because I feel like the character thing makes it more of a character specific tier list, which we're going to do again. We're going to re-rank all the characters, but I want to go with the jobs at a base level. Like, assume that like Cleric is on Hikari or something, right? Like what does the base Cleric do with a character that doesn't have any inherent advantages with it? Well, although he could recover us, it doesn't matter. Point is just we're doing the jobs, all right? We're not doing the characters. We're listening to some Octopath Traveler 2 chill music by You Need Not to Know Who I Am. Thank you very much for uploading this for us to listen to. So we're just going to jump right into it. I don't think this will take too long. I think everyone kind of knows exactly where everything goes. I do have the game pulled up if I need to open anything to remind me of anything. So one thing to know here, we're going from amazing to situational. Situational does not mean bad. None of the classes in this game are bad. Everything is powerful. All the characters are powerful. All right. I do think there are some things that are better than others. However, keep in mind, I have not 100% of the game yet. I'm still working on it. This is my perspective from my playthrough, and I know that there are going to be builds that differ from mine. Please let me know what you think I've misguessed, basically. What do you think I got wrong? But keep it nice in the comments, we're just we're here to have a good time. But also, this is factually correct, and if you disagree with me, you're probably an idiot. So let's jump into it. All right, so Temenos, just kidding, Cleric. Where do I think Cleric's at? I think Cleric's good. Definitely not amazing. We might adjust these as we go down, depending on where other things land, because things are relative to each other, right? I think Cleric is. Keep in mind, this is the baseline, right? Has AOE revive, AOE heal. Because I don't want to use things like, well, Agnia on Inventor has a better revive and heal or everything. But no, Cleric has got, it does everything really well. It's a very strong class. It's a class that I kind of undervalued when I initially saw it. And as I use it, I ended up using its skills all the time, and I really like it. Being able to have an AOE light attack, and being able to have an AOE heal, an AOE revive. You also have a double attack, so it could double break shields while recovering all your own SP. So you're kind of like always sustaining. You never need to take a turn off you might take a turn off to heal your SP, but not use an item. You get to deal damage even while you're doing that. And then honestly, the support skills are a little niche, but they're very powerful. The ability to just straight up ignore damage from a hit, right? It's like 90% damage reduction on the next hit. I don't think it's like insanely good outside of that, but I do think they are pretty good. Let's pull it up really quick just to make sure there's not something that I'm forgetting about with the Cleric. Plus, then I'll just have it up for when I need to look at all the other classes. Now, quick game. You're going to hear double music here, by the way, for a second. I'm not editing this. You can't make me. I'm not editing this. 41 hours on my playthrough, by the way. But sorry, I should have done this ahead of time, but we didn't. So, Sacred Shield. Yeah, like Prayer of Flame is Sacred Shield is oh my god, but the Divine ability, that's what I was forgetting about. The Divine ability is insane. This is clearly good. I'm still not sure if it's amazing, but I actually think out of all the base classes, this might be one of the most powerful. Cleric is very strong. Temenos has kind of a... Well, we're not talking about him, I guess, but I don't think he as a Cleric is necessarily the best. His latent power is a little but Cleric is very strong. I think you're very happy to have one on your team. Hunter, I think Hunter is good. Hunter has a lot going on for it that is very valuable. Its divine skill is a little bit lame. It's not terrible. It's like AOE 3 bow attacks, right? You could use it. It's worse at breaking shields than using normal like precise shot, but it's a decent damage dealer and it hits everything. Precise shot, very, very powerful. They have that really cool and unique alluring orb, right? Let's see who has it right now. Let's go ahead and go to jobs. You have everything maxed out almost. They have the precise shot is incredibly good. Thunderbird sucks. Cleaving blow is one of my favorite single target attacks, just like straight up in the game. You get to steal some really cool enhancement buffs. I've really liked it. It's good damage. It's not like insane, but it's good. Take aim. The critical rate up sucks, but the accuracy can be pretty good. But really, leg hold trap and a baiting orb are both just good to have. Causing a single foe to act at the end of a turn. This could be better than springy boots, right? Because this, if there's one enemy, you don't need to use like a combo to make this happen. You can just kind of hit an enemy, they move at the end of the turn, and you can make this permanent by just doing it again and again. And a baiting orb is just pretty good in general. Another thing, we're not really talking about the support skills because they're not actually tied to the class. I don't think it's relevant. You can unlock them with any class that you're playing. So the support skills are a little separate. We might do a separate tier list for support skills. But precise shot, very powerful. Cleaving blow, very powerful. And these are some nice niche things to just have. So I do think it's good. I think it's probably on the lower end of good, but I do think it's good. Now, we're gonna skip something here. We're gonna go down a little bit to, because I don't want to just put everything in good. Situational. We're going to the thief. Thief, I think, is situational. A lot of people have kind of, I think, seen this and agreed with it. The thief class in general is just not that strong. They're not offering that much. Like, they have an attack down spell, okay, whatever. They have an armor down spell. It's like, okay, that's kind of cool. That's like the strongest thing that they do, right? Their surprise attack kind of falls off, in my opinion, later in the game. Their HP attack is just kind of a worse version of the staff attack. Like, yeah, it does heal you, but you have a healer for healing, right? I don't think that attack's that good. The ability to steal has been pretty much always bad. There might be one or two spots where it's good, but like I've never felt like I had to steal items. And I used Throne for the whole playthrough. Now the divine ability is pretty darn good, but I don't think it's like as good as some people think. I think it's really good at farming stuff in general. You get to wipe out a lot of stuff, but unless you have like dedicated BP batteries and you have an insane amount of speed and you're just like funneling BP into this character every turn so they could do that attack every turn, I think if you're doing that, you're still going to get more damage out of other characters using other abilities. I don't think you're going to get the most out of a at a thief doing that. They're very, again, everything's viable, but I think the thief as a class is probably the one that I go and use the skills to least. I had Throne as a thief cleric, and I use the cleric almost every single turn, even just for damage, that, yeah, I would use surprise attacks sometimes, things like that. But the staff, you get like a flail or stuff. There's some really high attack staves in the game too. Staves, whatever you want to call it. Situational. All right, let's take a look here. I'm going to put the scholar. This is tough because the scholar is really good, but they're really good because they're just kind of slow. I think the scholar is good. I think that it's a little hard to make it work right. But it's so powerful in the early game. It's so powerful in the mid game. And then in the really, I think in the late game, it's bad. But if you get to the super late game where you're doing optional stuff and you have full builds built around it, I think you can kind of loop back around. But where I'm at in the game, it just has always been like, I would rather just have physical damage dealers. The magic hasn't felt that powerful. The AoE physical is just as good. The single target physical doesn't require latent powers to make it work. So they're just not good at killing individual things. Elemental Barrage, even though it's powerful, I think it falls off really hard compared to the physical damage skills you can be doing. So yeah, I'm just not as super into it myself, but I do think that it is still good. It might be average. Let's put this in average for now. That feels a little harsh, but I think that's where I'm going to settle on it, on being average. The later in the game I get, the worse Oswald is felt, which isn't Oswald, but just scholars in general. But if I have a whole team dedicated to it, they suddenly start feeling way better. Like having a team of 4 scholars, a scholar cleric, a scholar merchant, a dancer scholar, this kind of stuff. Like it suddenly makes them all better because they synergize with each other so well. But just like if you just have a scholar on its own, it feels it doesn't feel that good to me. Apothecary. Apothecary, I actually think is kind of probably a little bit below average myself. I'm not very impressed with the Apothecary. Like they do have a decent physical attack, but I haven't been impressed with poison myself. Healing touch is single target, not incredibly good. Icicle is not very good. Sweeping cleave is like, it's okay. Like it could do some damage. Poison axe has been fine. Replenish HP, and like the poison thing, it's like you're going, I just think you're going through too many hoops to break an extra shield here. Now what I will say is the saving grace of the Apothecary's class overall is that I do think rehabilitate might be incredibly necessary in some fights. And the latent ability to make items affect everybody is really good. Being able to have a character just use an item and then give the entire team full BP, or give the entire team full latent gauge, or give the entire gauge full SP or HP, or revive people, like very, very, very powerful. And this is, again, this is separate of Casty. This gives any character with that latent power the ability to be the most insane powerful support in the game, because they get to use an item and fill everything up. So I think the divine skill is incredibly good, but I don't think that's enough to get the class as a whole ranked up, because I still don't even think that its divine skill is as good as the clerics. I do think it's better than the hunter, but I just think there's so much, the abilities are just like overall. Like I think the reason the Apothecary seems good is because Casty is so insanely broken with Concoct, not because the Apothecary is that good. Merchant is a, oh, man, I'm so biased. I really like Merchant. Let's skip a little bit. Let's switch these up. All right. Let's go with the Arcanist. Arcanist is going to be the first that goes into amazing. This class does everything you want and then some. It's got incredibly broken spells, super powerful, AoE darkness, heal HP to the whole squad, AoE light, heal SP to the whole squad. So it's just like the Scholar, but better. It has different elements, so, but it does like basically the same amount or more damage than the Scholar, while also healing HP or SP. But it also has Seal of Diffusion, the ability to make things that only target yourself, target everybody, are just, it works with so many good abilities. A few call out ones that I always go to are like Rest, the Hikari's ability to grant everyone on the entire team counter. Hikari as a Arcanist is a little funny, but it's very good. You can give the entire team counter and then the entire team elemental bounce. So no matter what the enemy attacks you with, they're taking damage from every character in your party, no matter what, or every character they hit, they're always taking damage from. So it just has a lot of really powerful broken synergies. Obviously the support skills are insane as well, but the skills themselves are great. Just a huge amount of like of some of the most powerful unique spells in the game, and then just like a bunch of weird little utility spells in there too, like the ability to survive a hit when you would go down to 1 HP, or like, sorry, yeah, just to go down to 1 HP instead of dying in a hit. Like it's just a nuts class. Nutso butso, very strong. We'll put this one back here. We're gonna change the order a little bit. All right, Warrior. I think Warrior is, this is tough for me because I think the Warrior is worse. I think the Warrior is average. I think it's high average. I think it's borderline good. I think the Hunter is better overall with its skills, but I don't know. This is kind of tough. Maybe the Warrior is good. I'm trying to think about this, because the Warrior has a lot of abilities that aren't that great, right? The ability, if they're not weak to swords, it can't break shit, right? It has the one dagger attack and the one sword attack that hits a bunch, but if they're not weak to swords, it's really hard to break anything. But they always have access to that counter. I think the counter being so good and so strong, combined with the fact with the divine skill is very easy to hit damage cap with, I think puts them into the good category. I think maybe below the Hunter. It's tough. Precise shot is very good. The cleave is very good. The Warrior is better at getting to damage caps earlier in the game, but I think as you get into the super late game, it probably starts to even out. This might switch around. Yeah, because like I don't like Abide, I don't like Stonewall, I don't like the I don't even like the spear attack that gets a guaranteed crit that much, because you're using Brand's blade or whatever most of the time. The multiple sword attack is super weak. It's just for breaking shields. But man, that vengeful strike is very, very powerful. That attack does some good stuff. And and the divine skill is pretty good at just fucking killing shit. So I think this is going to be pretty good for quite a while. Actually, I do like the warrior, and I think that they end up being good despite having over half their abilities be pretty lousy. Merchant, this is probably not quite as good as the cleric to me, but it's up there. It's almost tied with the cleric, I think. The main downside of the merchant for me is I think their divine skill kind of blows. The ability to do like a magic attack that's not that strong and you get money for it, like whatever. It's a farming ability, right? They have a couple farming abilities like that, but being able to rest to fully heal their own, like heal their own HP, heal their own SP, while also being able to recover themselves from all status ailments is huge. Not to mention that it synergizes very well with like the seal of diffusion to be able to do that to your whole team. But being able to sidestep, very good. Being able to donate BP to other characters, very, very strong. And hired help might be one of the most diverse, powerful abilities in the game. You get to do the entire thief job, no problem. You get to lower all the attack and defense of all enemies for like 2,000 gold or something. I don't even know, but it's something like that. It's very low. It's way better in the thief. Like the thief's best skills are in the merchant's hired help. And then you get to the top end of hired help and it becomes just very, very powerful abilities too. But even like there's guys that can guarantee break 4 shields, right? For a right amount of money and 3 BP, they can guarantee break shields no matter what. They can also get the ability to knock enemies back. So if for some reason you're not all going first and you wanted to, you can knock an enemy back in the timeline. You could increase the elemental, they have the ability to increase the elemental attack and recover the SP of all allies. They have the ability to recover, to lower the attack and defense of all enemies and to deal 4, sword attacks, 4 staff attacks, 4 guaranteed. Like it's such a good ability. It takes money to funnel it into it, but I do think it's incredibly good. I'm not sure I'm just not quite sold if it's actually better than the cleric overall. I think it is, because the ability to donate BP to your strongest character to absolutely like just blow things up is very powerful. So I do think the merchant is one that I thought would be kind of weak when I was first reading it, and it turned out to be incredibly strong. Dancer, I'm sorry, Dancer, you're going down to situational. I think the Dancer is potentially the worst class. I think the Thief, I think it's a little bit better than the Thief, probably. I don't think it's better than the Thief. The Thief has Aber's Reckoning, which is pretty good. The Dancer, right, like Peacock Strut, the other dance, the Ruinous Kick, the Dagger Dance, these are all just kind of like, none of these abilities are like actually that good, right? Sweeping Gale is not that good. Bewildering Grace is fun, but not that good. Stimulate is, I think it could be good, but it just like, it's so narrowly good that it's situational, right? It's niche, I think, is when it's good. Now, I will say, the divine skill here, the one that I can't read, the seduction, this is pretty good. Extend the reach of a single ally's skills to affect all for 3 turns. This is pretty good because this is like having Agnia's latent power on a character, but then it lasts for 3 turns. It feels a little like it's kind of cool. Lets you do some broken stuff, but I haven't found it to be that useful. I've never actually had to cast it and get benefit from it, but it is definitely very powerful in general. But I just think they're just situational, There's other ways to do everything that the Dancer does and better for the most part, I would say. Now, last 3, they're all special classes, so you're probably going to be shocked here. Arms Master, amazing. Amazing. Maybe the best class in the game. The amazing ones are going to be kind of hard to judge here for me. I think the Arms Master is... it just does so much damage. Being able to equip all 6 weapons and being able to use 6-fold strike and discover all enemy weaknesses, physical weaknesses on the first turn is so strong. Combined with just having some of the most insanely powerful attacks. So like the double axe hit is insane. The cosmic roar is insane. The triple dagger attack that also does all these status ailments because they're using this specific weapon is insane. The weapons themselves are good that you have to equip with this, combined with the skills are all good. Combined with just having really good stats, this thing kills shit to death bad. You slap this on anybody and they're gonna start killing shit fast. Just an incredibly powerful class. It's like a warrior meets hunter meets apothecary without any of the support abilities. It's just all kill, kill, kill. Now, Inventor also might be the best class in the game. The inventor has one fatal flaw, and that's that its abilities can only be used once, and then you have to repair them. But they're so good. Oh my god. The inventor, if we're talking about support skills, inventor is number one, baby. Inventor's got the best shit. Upgraded accessories, step ahead, but we're not talking about those. What we are talking about are the skills. The catapult is good, but it falls off. Springy boots, always fantastic. Lets your whole party go first for 5 turns. Critical scope, maybe one of the most broken skills in the game. Guaranteed all damage is critical damage for like 4 turns. Yes, please. Then we have the coil. The coil has the ability to fully revive. I guess you can't, the coil, the inventor gets worse when you're not considering it as Agnia, right? The ability to fully revive and heal and BP one character is much worse than your whole party. The elemental bomb is good. It's much less good when it targets one target, but it's still good. You can still break up to like 12 shields on certain fights with that one ability, which is insane. Hastening hammer, very powerful. Very, very good hammer just in general. Just it's easily passes the damage cap even on low damage characters. You just equip a decent weapon on them and then suddenly they get a smack for like 20,000 damage. Like my Agnia, who is not a physical character, was smacking for 20,000 damage, no problem with that ability. But you can only use these abilities once, so in long drawn out fights it gets really hard. You have to use like the inventor's tool. So the way I understand it is you start repair. I've never had a fight last long enough to repair something and use it again, but my understanding is once you start repairing it, it automatically ticks down every turn. So you don't need to spend multiple turns. Like if it takes 7 turns for something to fix, you start repairing it, and then every turn it's going to tick down to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, even if you're not doing it. You don't need to sit there for 7 turns and manually repair it. You just have to do it once and then wait the time, and then it will finish. So I think the inventor is potentially the best class in the game, but only potentially the best when combined with Agnia. Otherwise, it's just amazing. Now, Conjurer, I'm sorry to say it, Conjurer, I think you're situational. Now, I think that this is probably the most controversial one, potentially, of the whole list. Conjurer's skills, I think, are good. They're fine. They add an AoE element to, like, they AoE, make all your attacks add fire damage. The main weakness for me, for this ability right now, is kind of twofold, is that let me find it. Where do I have let me equip the job here so we can look over the skills. These conjure abilities, you can't stack them with other ones. You can't do conjure flames and then conjure ice and have them both be active, right? So you have to choose one of these. So once you choose one, the other abilities shut off. Also, it's the downside is that it doesn't it scales with the magic attack of the attacker, not of the caster. So we conjure ice on on our conjurer, but then it doesn't, then like if you have a really low elemental attack character, it really doesn't hit them that hard. Now this does effectively let every character break an additional shield during their turns and do a bit more damage, but I just didn't find this to be that powerful. I mean, maybe I'm underestimating it because it only is one action and then you have it there for 2 turns. But like, I just wanted my characters doing other more powerful things I considered. Like, yeah, Dance of Immunity and Prayer of Rain to recover SP is like nice, but like an item can replace Prayer of Rain. You know, there's items that do exactly that and better. Dance of Immunity is just like a bad version of the Rehabilitate on everybody. Rite of the Sun is a bad version of the Inventor being able to do it. I mean, it only costs 1 SP and you could do this. And if you boost it, you have to skip like 2 turns, which isn't like unbearable, but it's not good. The BP boost, this is good. 2 BP every turn, but you're spending 3 BP to next turn give an ally 2 BP. So you're basically spending 3 to get 6. So this doubles the amount of BP that you put into it. I don't know if that's good enough. Like it feels like a bunch of just like stuff. Again, it's good, it's powerful, but it really just felt situational, and I didn't have, nothing stayed alive long enough for me to ever want to use their abilities. I was just smacking shit too hard. So maybe in the post game, in the late post game, this kind of stuff will be incredibly important. If things have a ton of shields, being able to break like I still, even then, be able to break bonus shields, I still feel like it'll be stronger to use Hikari to give everyone the ability to counterattack, because then if they do an AoE attack, they instantly break 4 of their own shields, not even counting what we're actually doing with our characters. So I don't know. I think this is situational. It's definitely probably my least favorite of all the jobs in the game, but that is going to be it for the tier list today, friends. Let me know what you think. Let me know where you think I'm wrong, where you think I'm right. I want to know what you agree with and what you disagree with. I do think that we could potentially move the Cleric up to amazing. I think that Cleric has potential amazing capability, but if I'm comparing it to like the Inventor, it's not there. If I'm comparing it to the game-breaking stuff, I don't think it's not there. I do think the Inventor is probably better than the Arms Master, though. So this will be our final list right here. From, you know, top down, left to right. That's what we're going to do. Much love. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. I will see ya on the flip-flop. Peace out.